Hello DevOps friends, welcome to my office hour live stream. I'm Jochen, the Monospace mentor, and in my office hour I answer your questions about DevOps, SRE, software engineering, IT careers, all kinds of IT related stuff. Whatever you have on your mind, feel free to ask your question, and please post your question to our Q&A panel at mspc.sh/officehour, because that makes it easy for me to pick things up regardless of where you are watching this stream, either on Twitch, on YouTube, or on live.monospacementor.com, where you can also use my Owncast instance. Regardless of where you are and which chat you use, posting your questions to my Q&A panel makes it very easy for me to field your questions, to get them on screen and to answer them. And for everyone who is joining midstream, it's much easier to tell what question I'm answering. So that is it in terms of formalities. I'll be watching the Q&A board, and whenever there are questions, I'll try and pick them up and answer them as best I can. And until then, I'll simply chill and lean back and have some water. I'll be honest, I forgot to prepare coffee, and so I quickly poured myself a glass of water, but it will do. Of course, now that I'm bound to the office, the weather has become a little better outside. Before it had been pouring, but maybe there's a chance for me to go outside later. We'll see about that. We'll do this office hour for about an hour until around 3 o'clock Irish time. And let's see how many questions we get down by then. In the meantime, feel free to pop into chat, say hello, share how you're doing, what you're doing, maybe share your plans for the weekend, because the weekend is near. For me, I haven't made any plans yet. There's probably some American Truck Simulator in my near future, but other than that, everything is pretty chill right now, so no particular plans. Again, to everyone who's joining, welcome to my office hour. I answer DevOps questions of all kinds, post them to mspc.sh/officehour, where I can show them on screen, pick them up, answer them, hopefully, and hopefully I can give you some helpful advice. I'm still working on my plans for the PubMox cluster, which is going to be a public Proxmox cluster, available to members of the server room. If you want to learn more about the server room, you can simply use the !community command on Twitch, or you can simply go to theserverroom.sh. In short, the server room is my membership community for DevOps practitioners. We collaborate to help each other grow, and we already have a bunch of friendly people on there, and there's a lot of opportunities to grow. We have a forum where you can ask your questions or share your experience. We have regular community events, such as our monthly hangout, where we simply hop on a call and chat. There are deep dives where I do presentations on specific topics. We have member hot seats where community members can ask for feedback or get advice from the community. And as a gold member, you can even take part in my in-person courses and workshops for free. And also you will get access to PubMox, which, as I said, is a public Proxmox cluster that members can use to run their own projects, to explore experiments, to try out platforms like Kubernetes, things like that. And that's what I'm going to build over the next few weeks. Of course, building the Proxmox cluster will also be a community workshop. So members can already take part in building up the cluster, not only in using it once it's ready. Looks like we're starting slow, so again, if you have any DevOps questions, if there's anything that you would like to ask, post it to the Q&A panel. mspc.sh, by the way, is my URL shortening service that I set up in a few of my recent live coding streams. And I'm about to finish my blog post on how I built that service using Podman. I spent quite a few hours yesterday, both on my live stream and after the live stream, writing this article. And I'm surprised how much effort it took to really craft an article that doesn't confuse people and instead is useful to people who would like to explore Podman and its Quadlet feature that integrates Podman containers with the systemd. But in the end I got there, and there are only a few rough edges that I need to tackle, and then I can publish that article on monospacementor.com. And hopefully I can get into a groove where I regularly post articles like that, and hopefully it'll take less effort over time. Writing is, and I'm pretty much aware of that, a muscle that needs exercise, so this is one of my main goals for this year, to really practice writing and get words on screens, simply to become more proficient and to get a feeling for how to structure technical articles, how to phrase things, how to get an outline that makes sense, things like that. I have the greatest respect for people who can create articles or even books in a short time, because that really requires quite a level of mastery. And yeah, eventually I hope to get there as well. There is Hyde popping up, welcome. Asking in chat, I heard you use Tmux. I just switched to Westterm and their multiplexer. I love it. Have you tried Zelich? The question QWERTY or Dvorak maybe? That's 2 questions. And yeah, I'm happy to answer them. So let's tackle the first one, terminal multiplexer. I still use Tmux. I've tried different approaches. I did try using Westterm. and its features. I'm not sure if I've tried a multiplexer per se. Is that something new? Because, yeah, of course, I try to use Westterm with its split panes and things like that. I had been using Westterm for quite a while. Unfortunately, it has a weird bug that sometimes makes the window crash when I move it around my screen, which is probably related to me running an NVIDIA card and Wayland, and maybe there's another component in there. So I've recently switched to Ghosty, which appears pretty stable. And I did try Ghosty's features as well. I set up... Ghosty has even a leader key feature where you can basically program very similar keybinds to Tmux to open panes and new windows and tabs and things like that. But in the end, I always came back to Tmux. I also tried Zelich, which is really nice. I like how it guides new users with the status line and its different modes. And still, I always came back to Tmux because, yeah, by now I have a configuration that really works well, and it's nicely integrated, say, with NeoVim, so it doesn't really matter if I switch between NeoVim panes or then terminal panes, one of them probably containing NeoVim. I can use the same keybinds, and yeah, so it's doing what it's supposed to do, and none of the alternatives ever gave me something that made it worth switching. They might have filled the same gap, but not in a particularly better way, so why change a winning team? And yeah, so I'll still be curious and try out new things, but I have to admit Tmux has a lot of staying power for me. And your second question, QWERTY or Dvorak maybe? The answer is QWERTY on regular keyboards like here on my desk or on a laptop, and Colmac when I'm using a split keyboard. I do have two split keyboards that I use regularly, and on those I have the Colmac keyboard layout, and it works surprisingly well. Typing on or switching to a split keyboard with Colmac on it, I was afraid that I'd get completely confused, but it works quite well. Where I'm still struggling, and that's probably just a matter of practice, is coding on Colmac, because writing prose seems to have a different muscle memory in terms of automatic finger movement than coding, where you continuously switch between words and symbols and do a lot of moving around, things like that. So that's why I am not as proficient coding with the Colmac layout on a split keyboard as I am using a QWERTY keyboard. There have been occasions where I frustratedly switched back to a monolithic keyboard simply to get back to QWERTY. I mean, the other thing is I have decades of muscle memory with QWERTY layout, and it's really hard to override that. Hyde also said Westterm has a leader key too, and also Lua for config, like NeoVim and Awesome WM. Yep, that was what drew me to Westterm in the beginning. Having the same programming language to configure stuff definitely looks like an advantage. As I said, I'd probably still be using Westterm if there wasn't this bug that makes it unstable in my specific configuration, which, as I said, probably has to do with me running an NVIDIA card. But Ghosty works nicely as well, and in the end, it doesn't really matter for me, and that's, I guess, another advantage of using Tmux. I mean, I could use GNOME's standard terminal as well. Tmux would work in there just as efficiently as it does on any other terminal, and this independence is something that I also appreciate. All right, so at least I got into answering mode, and if you'd like to ask more questions, please post them to the QA page at mspc.sh/officehour. Makes it easier for me to get them on screen and to make it clear for everyone what I'm talking about. As a side benefit, you can also upvote others' questions. So if there's a particular interesting question that you like, feel free to upvote that as well. And to access the QA page, you don't have to log in or anything. You don't have to leave any personal information. You can just go there and submit your question. So Hyde, what are you up to by now? Downside of sunlight is that I can see dust on my screens. Looks like tomorrow is going to be another cleaning day. Hyde over on my own cast instances. I'm fiddling quite a lot with NeoVim, Settle Custom, and many things around DevOps too, Kubernetes, Terraform, other things like that. Oh, aren't we all? I'm pretty happy with my note-taking setup by now. I've been using Obsidian for years now, and I've built up both a nice personal collection of notes and also my DevOps notes, which I do publish using Obsidian Publish. You can find them at wiki.monospacementor.com. Whenever I update my technical notes, I publish them there, and so you can benefit from them as well. You know what, I'll actually go ahead and add a chat command for the wiki. Oh, there is one already. Okay, looks like I already thought of that. I'd ask, do you use Obsidian on mobile? I found it useful to have your notes in your pocket, but not really to take notes. I use mainly in Vim for notes. Excuse me. Yes, since Obsidian is my note-taking app, I'm also using it on mobile or on my e-ink tablet. I find it works okay. At times it's a little bit slow, but it's better than nothing, and it actually is not often that I need to access my notes on mobile. When I'm out and about, I usually have either my Linux tablet or my Linux laptop with me, and so Obsidian is definitely something that I can access from there much better than, say, on my phone or on my e-ink tablet, which also runs Android. Marksman is quite interesting. Let me take a look at that. Write Markdown with code assist and intelligence in the comfort of your favorite editor. Wait, what is that? Marksman is a program that integrates with your editor to assist you in writing and maintaining your Markdown documents. Using the LSP protocol, it provides completion, go-to definition, find references, rename refactoring, diagnostics, and more. It also supports Wikilinks style references. So it's basically a language server for Markdown that you can integrate with different editors, and that then adds more features like finding existing pages to reference in a link. So it basically adds the same amount of editing features to, say, NeoVim as is already built into to Obsidian. Easy referencing of pages and stuff like that. Interesting, interesting. Let me start this repository to have a bookmark to check it out later. Interesting, thanks for the hint. Slow, Hyde asks, slow because of the number of notes in Obsidian. No, apparently Obsidian for mobile is a little bit slow. I mean, having things like plugins to load at startup also, of course, delays being able to use the app. And I think that is most often the case when I want to quickly add a note or want to quickly reference a note, and then I have to wait if even for just a few seconds for the application to load all the plugins and to render the initial tabs and things like that, that simply gets in the way and really spoils the mobile experience for me. And I actually try to use a different editor, like in my case Markor, that I simply point to the Obsidian Vault directory, because Markor starts up quickly without having to load stuff, and it allows me to quickly jot down a note or something. So that's definitely an alternative if Obsidian is too slow. See? Hide using marker 2. And now that hide had inspired me to run Owncast again, I also have re-enabled the Owncast command. It doesn't display the links on screen, so the most important link here is owncast.online if you'd like to learn more. Hi, am I the only one with questions? Apparently you are. It's a slow day today. I don't mind that, actually. Keeps things chill and lets me take care of a few things behind the scenes, such as maybe not stripping links in my on-screen chat. Let me quickly check if I can fix this. Yeah, so you can simply remove this option. Hi Dust, are you running Owncast in Docker? No, I'm not. I've simply installed it right on the VPS that's hosting it. Owncast being a simple Go application, a single binary, doesn't really make it necessary to run it as a container. However, I might actually switch to running it as a container. That would be a nice addition to the Podman setup that I'm already running for my URL shortener. That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, I should look into that. Would be one less VPS that I'd have to pay for. And if you're wondering why I'm just sitting around here and chatting, that's because I'm doing my office hour. Fridays at 2 p.m. Irish time is my office hour, where I simply sit back and wait for questions to come in. If you'd like to ask a question, ideally simply post it to my Q&A page. Makes it easier for me to manage everything. But it's of course also fair to ask in chat, such as Hyde has been doing this whole time. What's the hosting company you use? Hetzner? Yep. I've been using Hetzner for almost 20 years, I think now, and they've been great all the time. There were times when they struggled with network bandwidth and things like that, which also affected our hosting platform. Yeah, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, my main job is being part of a small managed hosting company specialized in running high-performance websites based on Drupal and WordPress. And for this hosting platform, we're running a few hundred Linux servers. And so that's what I've been doing, and Hetzner has been a great data center partner all this time. Over on Twitch, Dragonfleece is joining us. Hello, welcome. Asking, I have a senior platform engineering interview in 2 hours and I'm nervous. Any tips? I think it's perfectly okay, first of all, to be nervous. I'd be nervous in these situations as well. Regardless of how many times I attended interviews or gave presentations, things like that, I'm always nervous because, yeah, we can't tell the future and don't know what's coming. First of all, simply accept that you're nervous. Don't beat yourself up over it. And I guess one practical tip that sometimes helps is if you feel too nervous, if you are going over into anxiety territory, box breathing has been quite helpful for me. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the technique, but it's very simple. The goal of this breathing technique is to signal to your nervous system, especially to your vegetative nervous system, that everything is okay. And that's why this breathing technique is a very slow breathing technique, because if there was real danger, if there was real a real crisis, you wouldn't be breathing slowly. Exactly. Hey, why am I even explaining this? Dragonfleece says parasympathetic nervous system calming. Yep, I wouldn't have been able to put it as well as that. But to everyone else who's not as familiar with neuroscience as Dragonfleece apparently is, box breathing simply means that you breathe in very slowly, maybe count to 4, 1, 2, 3, then you hold it for, say, 4 seconds, then you breathe out for 4 seconds and keep it like this for another 4 seconds, and then the cycle starts over. You can also vary the times there. Breathe in for, say, 4 seconds, hold it for 4, but breathe out for 8 seconds, very, very slowly. And that often helps with keeping anxiety or nervousness at bay. Other than that, hey, if you are a capable engineer, then I'm pretty sure you'll do great during your interview. I mean, people can always ask questions or try to trip you up, but that's on them. And I wouldn't worry about that beforehand. The only result that you get from worrying beforehand is that you making it harder for yourself. Dragonfleece says, I don't think I'm nervous so much for the interview as I am for the implication that I have to leave my current job for this new job. This is my 4th round and the first 3 have gone extremely well. See, so it's, as I said, it's fine to be nervous, but yeah, I mean, one source of stress is change, and apparently you seem to be expecting change very soon if everything keeps going as well as it has. And but I mean, you have been doing all this interviewing for a reason, haven't you? And for a purpose. And so while this might cause a crisis, in scare quotes, because it'll change your life in terms that, yeah, you're switching to a different job, to a set of different colleagues and all these things that come with it. But I'm pretty sure you're doing this because this change is going to be for the better in the long run. And so I think that's might be something to be nervous about, but it's definitely also something to be excited about and look forward to. But that's a great topic for my office hour. I love these IT career questions and all these topics. So I appreciate the question, Dragonfleas. Exactly, Dragonfleas. Change is good, taking risks is good. If you manage those risks, keep telling yourself that. Exactly. And hey, if I may be blunt, apparently you have initiated this career change, and that's 1,000 times better than what other people in our industry have experienced recently or are still experiencing, which is companies laying off people out of the blue, and oftentimes with very dubious reasonings. And so you are in the situation that you have complete control where this is going to go, and that's definitely something you can be yeah, what, how would I phrase that? It's something that I would appreciate if I were in your shoes. If all of you have other questions, feel free to post them to the Q&A panel. I'll post them in chat. It's fair either way. We still have about 15 minutes to go, and then I will leave to experience some blue sky and sunlight. Haven't had that in weeks here. I just saw a news article the other day where they said that Dublin hasn't seen any sun in 10 days. So yeah, vitamin D is in short supply right now.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
Heiser, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Hi Das, what is your best shell alias? My best shell alias? I'll have to think about that actually, because shell aliases have the characteristic that you use them without much thinking, so I'm not really aware of shell aliases that would stand out, but I'll think about it, and maybe I'll simply check my aliases file. Dragonfleas asks, are you in Ireland? Yes, I am based in Ireland. I live a little bit south of Dublin on the Irish east coast. Let me check my aliases file if there's anything that stands out. I am afraid that it's pretty much bog standard, but who knows, maybe there is a hidden gem in there. Not really.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
Thanks for the follow, Dragonflies. Yeah, no, just the usual stuff. Shortcuts for commands that I use often. Or replacements of standard commands like ping, where I replace ping with pretty ping, or ls with isa. So nope, I don't think there is much that I can do. Of course, alias vim equals nvim, that's definitely the case. There is an alias in there that checks if nvim is installed, and I have multiple aliases. I use v as my main alias, so what I'm going to add to my aliases is the command v dot, because v space dot is how I usually open NeoVim in a project, so I can directly pick the first file that I'd like to edit. And having an alias v dot without the space would definitely shorten things even more. But still, that's not something that is too spectacular. Looking through my aliases file, I saw one where I'm using the op command to access my 1Password vault to get my sudo password that I'm using on specific servers. That, of course, makes it a little easier. But other than that, yeah. You can actually see my aliases in my dot files. And if I type in chat instead of my terminal, it even works. And links get displayed on screen now as well, which is brilliant. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Oh yeah, 24 degrees in my office. Hello Moo, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Having a chill stream so far. Answering questions, ready for the weekend, aren't we all? Dragonfly asks, how do you manage committing dot files? Do you use folders as individual repos, submodules inside of config? Nope. If you take a look at my dot files repository on GitHub, you can see that everything is standard directories. I'm using Chemois to manage those dot files, which simplifies quite a few things. First of all, it allows me to create non-hidden files. You can see that those files all start with the prefix .dot underscore, and Chemois then automatically renames them and copies them where they are supposed to go with the leading dot. And it also has a few automation features in there, so that if I install my dot files on a new machine, Chemois will also automatically clone repositories that I need, like, for example, RBN for my Ruby environments, or the TPM plugin manager for Tmux. And other things without which my dot files wouldn't work properly. So with a simple Chemois apply, it'll automatically also download these things and leave me with a working installation where I don't then have to go on and clone directories or curl bash any stuff. Shimwa automatically takes care of that as well. And so, yeah, I'm really happy about using it, and I can highly recommend using it. Well spotted, Dragonfleas. Yes, it is a PDP 1170. At least it's a replica of a PDP 1170. And it runs SimH, so I can actually run Research Unix, RTS, RX11, or RTSM, all these historical operating system. I can run them on it, and above the PDP-11, of course, is a VT100 terminal, another replica that is, of course, running a Raspberry Pi inside, just as the PDP-11 does as well, which is why it's called a PyDP-11. It says I have NeoVim plus Telescope find files when I open a project, so I can search for a file quickly. It is the tab with the project name and creates a new workspace in Westterm. Oh, that's amazing. Nice. I do use Telescope find file a lot myself. I'm also using the file picker that's built into the Mini plugin. Just recently I replaced quite a bunch of my separate plugins with Mini, which comes with a lot of sub plugins like Surround and other things, so I could actually throw out quite a bunch of disparate plugins and replace all of them using the Mini plugin. So yeah, opening files is a mix of the Mini file picker and Telescope find files. But I haven't integrated it as much with my terminal environment. So having a new workspace in Westterm, for example, that is really nifty. I'm going to look into that. Yeah, Mini is quite well built. I'm always reluctant replacing one thing with another that does basically the same. So why, for example, replace the Tim Pope's Surround plugin with anything else if it does the same thing? But Mini seems to be very well written, very efficient, well maintained as well. And so I decided, okay, yeah, I can basically throw out 4 or 5, 6 of my existing plugins and replace them all with functionality that's built into Mini. And so I went for it, and so far I haven't regretted it. Tmux, replacing Tmux with Westterm, for example. Yep, exactly. Exactly, the same thing that I said earlier when we were talking about terminal multiplexes. So Dragonfleas, how come you recognize the PDP-11? Are you into retro computing, or are you an oldie like me? You love vintage computing. We share this. We definitely share that. Well before your time, okay. I am almost exactly epoch old, so while I wasn't aware that these things exist, they did exist at the same time as I. Yeah, the 2032 problem is going to be interesting. It's funny because a while ago I read about people being pretty I can't think of a fitting word. They basically went, yeah, that Y2K wasn't the catastrophe. Yes, you are right. 20 to 38 actually. Y2K wasn't the catastrophe it was supposed to be. It was all just hype and doomsaying. When in fact it just wasn't a catastrophe because so many people put in a lot of effort and a lot of work. Exactly, it wasn't a catastrophe because we made it that way, and I guess it's going to be the same with 2038 and putting in a lot of work beforehand, so it doesn't become the doom event it could become. Yeah, but people are so short-sighted. It's amazing and worrying at the same time. Hi Dust, any conference you are going or like? I would love to visit more DevOps conferences for obvious reasons, but unfortunately my time is pretty short, and in terms of travel budget, it's going to be more important to visit conferences that are attended by our customers, and that means that I'll mostly be going to conferences that are going to be about web development, and especially about Drupal or WordPress. DrupalCon in fall is going to be a mandatory conference pretty much, and I do intend to visit quite a few developer camps that cover Drupal or WordPress before then, and so that's something. I do have one conference that I really liked last year, which was SRE Con here in Dublin, conveniently. I would like to attend SRE Con this year as well, because it was really, really high quality and really worth the time and money spent, even though the attendance fee is pretty steep. The speakers are also pretty high profile, and I left with a lot of inspiration, and that's always a good thing. All right, it's 3 o'clock, and I'm getting hungry because I haven't had proper lunch. And since we seem to be having a pretty slow Friday anyway, I'm going to wrap things up. Let's see if there is anyone who we can raid. Not many. But there's someone we haven't raided yet. That's Jack Wright. So maybe and simply pop into someone new. Yep, Pixel Buttercup joining us just as I'm wrapping up my office hour. Hello. I hope you're having a great Friday. And we are about to raid Jack Wright. Say hello for me. And I'll be back next week with another live coding stream on Tuesday, probably. And another office hour, of course, next Friday. Thank you, Pixel Buttercup. Yep, it's my birthday week. And had a pretty good day on Tuesday. So yeah, I'll start the raid and sign off, and then we'll jump over to Jack Wright and see what he's doing. So everyone, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for asking all the questions. And I had a lot of fun. I hope you had too. Until next time, take care.